Hey, I hope you're doing well. I just wanted to do one more solo GM commentary run before I really start working on the build videos coming up on the channel for Titans and Warlocks. But I did want to do this because this is a seriously cool Warlock build, but it flies so under the radar. I hardly ever hear people talk about this build or even use this build, which I think is such a shame. On one hand, it's got ability spam, it's got really good damage, survivability, yada yada yada, all the stuff you'd want a build to be doing. But the most important thing, it is so much fun to use. This thing is dopamine hits 24/7, it's got flash, it's got flare, it's just such a cool build, and the playstyle as well is aggressive, which is right up my street. Also, one thing about this run, I'm not doing the tower cheeses here. That's not because I look down on them or anything like that. It's more because I use these solo GMs to do pretty much one of two things. Either show off a build that is up on the channel, which is the case with this, the build video is in the description below, or I use this to get B-roll for a build video that I want to make. And it would feel kind of like a slap in the face if I was like, hey, here's this really cool build. I'm going to go hide in the corner now. It kind of defeats the whole point of me doing it, so yeah, I'm doing the towers legit here, but I think if you're doing this as a solo run, probably doing the tower cheese is best. I mean, objectively, it is the safest and probably the fastest way you can do this, so yeah, like, go nuts. Also, one other important thing, when I made the build video for this build, it was at that weird kind of point in time where we had final shape, but we didn't have any episode content. One of the guns that I billion, gazillion, million times recommend using in this build is Lost Signal. In that video, I go on record on being like, this build is okay at building up transcendence, and I was actually making fragment recommendations for facets of bravery, I'm pretty sure, so that you would have unraveling rounds and melee kills, and then I was saying use the cool because it's strand, so it's darkness, and that's how we were getting around it. With Lost Signal, you don't even have to think about your dark transcendence bar, it just flies. You shoot this into a group of ads and it is just fully topped up, and this build loves transcendence so much because on casting it, you get double resets of Incinerator Snap, and then you just go crazy from there. You just spam and spam and spam, and all of that is thanks to Lost Signal. It's super ammo efficient as well, which lets you get away with using double special loadouts, although you could probably do that before as well. It's just you spend so much of the time killing things with Incinerator Snap that the guns are kind of secondary, to be honest. Lost Signal here is really for transcendence. Lord of Wolves is really here for just boss shredding. It's there to just absolutely rip through champs, and yeah, it's kind of like the weapons that we use in this build kind of fill niches that Incinerator Snap can't. But the one takeaway, I would say more important than any exotic you can have in the build, Lost Signal. Use and abuse this gun. It is absolutely crazy in the build. For what is actually going on, you can already kind of see some of it. We have Spirits of the Claw and Spirits of Inmost Lights on our class item, and all of that is going towards Incinerator Snap. This build lives and breathes ignitions. That is its bread and butter, and that's the reason why there isn't much Dark Transcendence energy, because everything is just about how many ignitions can I make. Everything. I really do mean that. And you can probably tell from the gameplay, it's a lot. And yeah, for the aspects in the build, Feed the Void, I don't actually think I've seen a Prismatic Warlock build that hasn't used Feed the Void, but that's kind of for a good reason. It is just some amazing survivability to the point where I'm making quite a lot of orbs. I've got triple heavy-handed on my gloves, but I don't really feel like I need Facet of Purpose here. because Devour is already crazy enough for healing. Although if you want to make that change, you can. Just before what I was saying about faceted bravery with the cool, you no longer need to run that fragment because the dark transcendence is basically made up by lost signal, so there's a free slot there. I think I've got as my replacement for bravery faceted sacrifice, but if you wanted to stick purpose in, you could. That's something that absolutely could work. One of the more important fragments in the build, or at least in high-end content important fragments in the build, is Facet of Dawn, where we just get Radiant on powered melee hits. The reason why that is so important here is that it gives you so much weapon flexibility in the loadouts. I'm not actually using one single gun that has any of the anti-champ stuff in the artifacts. Nothing with unstop and nothing with anti-para, just because I'm solely relying on Radiant from my melees. Again, you've seen already how many incinerator snaps we can get off. It's a lot. So I'm fully confident not using anything from the artifact and just solely relying on my build, the things inside of Prismatic, to just deal with them. Obviously, unstop, we have freeze, we have ignitions, and then anti-barrier, Radiant from Dawn. The only thing we don't really have is overload. You kind of get it in Transcendence because you're, I think it's called Freezing Singularity. I'm pretty sure that's the name of the grenade. But it slows, which is overload. But otherwise, at the minute, you can stick on something like overload machine gun, and then you're good. And also, I actually quite like using a machine gun in this build, just because if I'm doing double special, it kind of acts like a pseudo primary, where something might not be in range to get incinerator snapped. And yeah, sorry, I kind of mentioned one aspect and not the other, although you can kind of see what it's doing already. I use Helion. If ever I miss a full incinerator snap and don't quite get the ignition on something, it's really, really nice to just have Helion up to kind of finish it off. It makes the ignitions a lot more consistent. That's nice. Although I will say, if in the future Bungie adds an area denial strand, you could maybe think about sticking something in like, what's it called? Weaver's Call. Just because it's an inmost like class item, you get a lot of regen on your class ability. And I'm pretty sure we also have Facet of Hope. You can look at the build at the end of this video, but I'm like 99.9% sure Hope is something that we have. So we get lots of class abilities, and obviously it's dark as well from all the threadlings. So I could see that working well. Helion isn't mandatory here, but it's more just kind of nice to have in case you miss a full incinerator snap volley. And yeah, Phoenix Dive for its shorter cooldown gives us more Helions, and it also procs empowered from Inmost, so that's nice. Duskfield is literally just for Dark Transcendence. I would kind of hesitate taking it off, but if you do want to run other grenades, at the same time I think Lost Signal just does such an insane job at Dark Transcendence that you could probably get away with it and be fine. And for your super, it's Song of Flame. I use this just because when you have Spirit of the Claw on, as you've seen already with a lot of the supers, you get double Incinerator Snaps, and Incinerator Snap is the thing that really makes Song of Flame crazy. Like, your melee just gets absolutely juiced by Song, and you have two of them. And also, weirdly, Spirit of Inmost Light works when you're in Song of Flame. So if you ever find that your Incinerator Snaps are kind of starting to slow down, just throw the bird at someone or hit a Phoenix Dive, and I promise you it will just absolutely skyrocket. But to be honest, Transcendence is I treat Transcendence like a mini Song of Flame. A little bit less aggressive. I keep my distance when something I actually need to be scared of walks up on me. But yeah, you can spam so many incinerator snaps, which again is why lost signal is important, because it gives you more transcendence, or at least it covers the dark side. You've already got loads of light from incinerator snap and helion, so yeah, you're covered there. I think that is most of it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's everything in the build. For seasonal artifact, again, I probably would have used machine gun anyway if I'm doing double special loadout. But we've also got, I think there's 2 perks. The main one being that if you just shoot something with a machine gun for like half a second, you get just a 25% damage resist. And this build really appreciates that, because it's only got Devour. I say only. Devour is, or at least Feed the Void Devour is insane. But it's nice to have that little extra bit of DR. It saves you when you get into some tight spots. Although, I think the Visage is kind of speaking for itself when I'm saying this build has got good survivability. It really just keeps stuff locked down. And one thing as well, it doesn't give you healing and it's not damage resist, but because ignitions have a really, really heavy stagger on them, you can kind of just keep enemies fully stun locked and they just won't be able to shoot you. And I really do mean that. I maybe show it off on this ogre where, oh, okay, no, he stays back. There were multiple runs where this ogre would walk really far up, and genuinely my only option of surviving was to just go, right, I need to stun lock you with incinerator snaps. I would literally come out of super, just incinerator snap, transcend, and do it again. And that would give me just enough time to keep him stun locked. Oh, sorry. One thing as well with Song of Flame, if you look out for it the next time I use it, I hope I show it off, but when Song ends, you get full ability refreshes apart from Phoenix Dive. But your grenade and melee get fully refunded, so if you know you're about to super, try and spend as many abilities as you can, because at that point they're, in air quotes, free. But one of the really cool things, and a piece of tech that I kind of half got right in the build video, is that, Song of Flame will give you resets on your abilities when it ends, but you have just this slither of time, I'm talking maybe half a second, where you can throw out a cold snap grenade and throw out an incinerator snap, and you'll basically just get them back for free. I mean, immediately. It's really tight on the timing, but it's a free cold snap, which is great for dark transcendence, and a free incinerator snap, which is just good damage and potentially an ignition. So yeah, if you can work that in and start thinking about it, it's even more spam, as if the build even needed it. But yeah, that's a cool thing to know. And yeah, there's a little bit more tech, and I talk about that in the actual main video. But yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything that I really missed from the build. I don't think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's everything. I didn't talk about this in the video because at the time it wasn't a gun that was all that relevant, but you've been seeing in the background what Lord of Wolves is just doing to champions, and you're going to see it melt the boss in the boss room as well. This gun in this build it's so good. You've basically always got Radiant up, so it's 20% damage boosted, but it also, now with its catalyst, applies Scorch when you're hip firing, and has Incandescent when you ADS. I literally don't think I've actually ADS, well, okay, maybe once or twice I ADS with this thing. I always am just hip firing because that's where you get the most damage. But this thing has gone from just a little bit neglected, a little sad, to being an absolute champ shredder. again, what I was saying before, I kind of leave Incinerator Snap for the ad clear. Lord of Wolves is for killing champs. Machine Gun is basically for ad clear from a distance. And Area Denial is for transcendence. For me, this is just the bog standard loadout now that I run. I am using the Arc. Oh, what's it called? I'm trying to think of the name. I can't remember. The Arc machine gun. I'm doing that just because it has Rolling Storm, and that gets me access to Bolt Charge. That's extra melee energy, but this season, and if you're watching this and it's not episode Heresy? Yeah, episode Heresy, then this won't matter as much, but you get Amplified, which is so good. It's a 15% damage resist. Enemies are just less accurate against you. I promise you, if you can, I would say Arc, something with Rolling Storm. It just makes the build feel a little bit better. Again, that's only something that you get this season, which is a bit of a shame, but oh well, not the end of the world. One thing for this boss room, I do cheese this. To be honest, I was kind of trying to hold my morals high and be like, I'm not going to cheese this room, but the game just constantly threw stuff my way that just felt so unfair. I'm talking about like every other arc charged Wrathborn, the things that drop like the little arc batteries, would be a Drain Bane and would just start zapping my health from across the room. I would have like multiple runs lost because the boss would just teleport on top of me and then just one-shot me, even if I was like really far away. And I just went, I'm not bothering anymore. This is it's not even that the build couldn't handle it, it's just that I was just not having good luck in this room. Also, this is why we keep Lord of Wolves. Look at the health bar. It just absolutely flies. Yeah, that's Lord of Wolves doing its thing. And also just the build. You can see how many Incinerator Snaps and grenades we get off there. And now this is what makes the run actually last a little while, is this area. Oh, the boss, if you do this, he just chills at the bottom. You kind of got to like slowly just work yourself around the corner there. And then, yeah, you have an unstop and a barrier, but as you've seen so far, that's not really a problem with this build. It kind of just works through them. And Lord of Wolves is just doing Lord of Wolves things and being an absolute monster at shredding them. So, yeah. Just one tip I'll say with this room, always make sure that that middle area, when you go to dunk, is clear. There's nothing worse than going to dunk a battery and then just seeing that one of these knights has got line of sight on you and just starts spamming you with his little hive boomer thing. I genuinely lost a couple runs because I dunked and I was like, surely he doesn't shoot me from there, right? And then he did shoot me from there and I wasn't very happy. But yeah, that's, yeah, like that right there. The boss just spawning in and being like, oh, I'm here. It happened so much where I was just like, okay, I'm not going to be spending 20 minutes to get to this room. Well, okay, less in this case. And then just die because he decided to just drop himself on top of me and then just one-shot me. I lost too many runs that way. I was not having it happen again. Here, it's kind of just safe to pop super. And then Song of Flame also is just crazy with Devour and with Phoenix Dive as well for healing. So yeah, it was pretty safe to just do that. And yeah, just keep it going. I might show off that. Oh, damn it, I didn't. You can kind of see there how the Incinerator Snap gets like a little bit recharged. Imagine that if you do it much sooner, just happening to both your grenade and your melee. Free abilities. Why would you not want them? And yeah, this is kind of just me wanting to play it safe. I probably could have got a quicker run of this. I think if I was really pedal to the metal trying to get a super fast run, I could be shaving off maybe 4 minutes. If I was really going crazy, maybe like a 20-minute run. But yeah, I would have to be absolutely bombing it through these rooms. And I kind of, at this point, was more concerned about just getting a clear than trying to beat like a world record speed run or something. Yeah. I mean, this part, it's not really all that exciting. It's kind of just picking up batteries and dropping them off. And that's pretty much it. And trying not to die in the process. Whilst, yeah, like here, I don't think I should have done that because that knight there has line of sight. If he just decided to peek me there, I probably would have been dead. Again, this build doesn't have any damage resists. I mean, it has the machine gun damage resist at the minute, but yeah, if you just get caught out with something spamming you with really high damage, then that sucks. I actually lost quite a few runs because I would get hit twice by the acolytes throwing their grenades. And in GMs, it takes 2 of those things and you're dead. Or at least with this build, it takes 2 and you're dead. Just because, again, you don't have any DR here. But yeah, like this area, it's a bit of a time waste. It kind of made the run drag on a little bit. And I was just, as I said, I wanted to be safe here. But I'm pretty sure as soon as I do drop off a battery, I just bomb it right back into that corner. Okay, I'm apparently doing that now because I'm getting chased down by an enemy. Yeah, there we go. Almost lost the run. And tell me I do something cool. Yeah, that's not cool. What's hiding? Alright, now tell me I do something cool. Oh my god, that's even less cool. Hiding again? Alright, come on. I'm disappointed in myself for doing that. Am I gonna... Okay, he's just backing up. Alright, there we go. I finally got him. Yeah, oh, dude, like, this is kind of, you get infinite ads in this room. They're just constantly be spawning. I'm pretty sure when you dunk, you get a guaranteed wizard in the middle. Don't quote me on that. I'm like 80% sure there. But, yeah, it's... I would have loved to have dunked the battery there, but again, the build has no DR, so it would have just been way, way too risky for me to do that. I'm really trying to just get Radiant here, Devour here, and then there we go. I see it safe, drop it in there, back to my hiding spot. And from there, it's just going to be using Lord of Wolves and just absolutely shredding through the boss. I remember at some point, he kind of like despawns, where he does that kind of like going slightly invisible and then disappearing, which was a bit annoying. I think I had to pop super just to kind of make sure that he was not like going to respawn, but not just instantly kill me. But then, yeah, dude, look at that. Lord of Wolves is it's absolutely insane. And there we go. The build is doing incinerator snap things. Yeah, like, look at the health bar compared to the machine gun. Lord of Wolves is putting it to shame. Yeah, but there you go. Like, that's why you stick on the area denial. You can just see that I've come out of transcendence and I've basically just got a full bar from just one single gun, which is crazy. Yeah, I have a feeling he despawns pretty soon. I'm almost sure he does. I'm pretty sure it was this run. Yeah, okay, yeah, he does. Look, he's just at, no, I'm out. And then I'm like, oh, is he supposed to do that? And then there, I'm like, oh god, I got a super. Yeah, if ever you're in Song and you're worried about your health, just use Phoenix Dive. I don't actually know why I was trying to get back up here. I probably could have just finished him off with my super. And there we go. Yeah, again, I did try do this run quite a few times, staying and actually running around the boss room, but things just got a little too hot, and I was just dying to annoying stuff, so yeah, that's why I ended up doing that. Oh, drip check. Damn. Nice. Those are the stats. And then here's the build stuff, so you get full list of fragments. And we've got, here we go, Song of Flame, Phoenix, Incinerator, Cold Snap, Feed the Void, Helion, Festive Awakening, Hope, Protection, Dawn, and Sacrifice. And then guns, Lost Signal, Lord of Wolves, the Watchful Eye, that's what it was. And then those are my armor mods. I could probably stick on an Arc Siphon. Actually, wait, no, I wouldn't have enough energy. Okay, ignore me. Don't listen to me. And then, yeah, there we go. Those are the artifacts. But yeah, that's about it. I hope you enjoy the build. If this is your first time seeing it, I promise you this is so much fun. But that's about it from me. That's it.